Hey, Revenue Radio, it's Mary Grothy by myself today with my high ponytail and 4 cups of coffee. So today is going to be good. We are talking about investing in your people. I know our audience varies for Revenue Radio. Sometimes we have revenue leaders, we have salespeople, we have some founders, some CEOs. This message today is at the heart of the CEO. So hear me out. There was a recent transition in my business. As some of you may know this, right? Because I've gone into detail on it. And if you haven't, there's your reason to go back to former episodes. But we had a transition in our business. And with that, I was able to step back in fully and evaluate how we were showing up for our clients. Also, as the market continues to shift, right? Somebody's talking about a recession, like 1 or 2 people might be hitting. We're looking at primaries right now. We still have supply chain issues. There's war going on. The housing market is shifting, right? All these things going on. And people are changing the way that they buy, changing the way that they spend money. Inflation. How about that one? That one's fun. So here we are, we're in a very odd place within our society and within the market, and companies are shifting and trying to figure it out. So I stepped back in at a very interesting time and stepping back in with my team a few months ago. And first thing I started to evaluate was work-life balance, as well as our comp structure, people's titles, like how we were structured in servicing our clients. I want to evaluate all of it. And one of the bigger things out of the gate was I wanted to expect a different result for my people. So my people, that is like the worst way to say that. Our team, they are certainly not my people. They are our team and they are incredible. But I started to look at the complexity inside of our engagements and how we were going to work for our clients. And I thought, the market is shifting significantly. We have got to stay on top of trends. We need to make sure that we are as innovative, creative as possible. We have to dig into data like we never have before. We need to be able to identify trends in the data, but while those leading indicators are telling us that there are issues, before we see that in lagging results, we need to bring in a proactivity that we haven't been. Like, I want to see reactivity out the door. I want it to all be proactive. I want us to have such a great handle, and I want to elevate the quality of what we're doing. Every company should strive to get better every day, right? Like, we're no different. And so I wanted to make sure the product that was going out the door was the best of the best. So initially, when I stepped back in as CEO, I thought, well, first thing I'm going to do is just get right with everybody, because it all starts with the relationship. I hadn't really been present, and we had some newer team members that I really didn't know that well. And I thought, no, I can't sit here from this seat as a CEO and start saying, this is how it needs to be, if I don't have the relationship with each of these team members. And so I made that a point. Number one is get back in and really listen to people, get their feedback, hear from the front lines, what is happening, what's going on in our business. And I wanted to hear it from the inside, and so that it could trickle up rather than it coming top down. So I got some really amazing feedback. I was so thankful for it. We really do employ some of the greatest people I've ever met in my life. And so that initial feedback came through, and it was just apparent to me that it was time to settle up and invest. So I want to retain our team. I want them here for a very long time. And if you look at what has been happening in the market with talent, well, I'm sure you read the reports. Millions of people are changing jobs every month, like the highest level recorded in history. Now there's this thing of quiet quitting trending right now, which I don't know. We'll talk about that on a different episode. But I'm just at the point where I had to make a decision. And it's either I show up and do something different or I don't. But if I want to expect a different result, I can't keep doing the same. That is the definition of insanity, doing the same thing and expecting a different result. I wanted a different result. I wanted to be better. I wanted to do better work. I wanted to get better results. Well, the only way to do that is to do something different. So the first thing is, one, I got to show these people that I'm serious about investing in them and retaining them. Well, we had a company-wide across the board. We changed the comp structure so that everybody was bringing more money home per paycheck to take some of the stress of the cost of living increases off of their plate. The next thing is we looked at our work-life balance. We looked at capacity, and I realized we have to decrease the size of our budget. We were running with a budget that was about $4.6 million. could peak up to 5. And I realized this is too much. In order to produce that much revenue, we're going to be burning these people out. We're going to be stressing them to the max. So we actually dropped our annual budget down to $3.6 million. And by dropping it down, it means we have to do less work so that people can actually have that quality of life. Well, who pays for that? The bottom line pays for that. So that was a massive hit. But I knew it was the right thing to do, and we would just have to restructure the P&L. So then I immediately went into cost-cutting measures. I went to every vendor that we had and started renegotiating the contracts. And I wanted to make sure that I can open up as much money as possible from our overhead expenses so that I can take those savings, put it right into people's pockets. So we then leveled up several of our team members on the comp plans. I did a few market evaluations and realized we had a few roles that were underpaid. And I knew that if my focus as a CEO is to retain unbelievable talent, then I have to be willing to show up and retain the talent. It's not one thing to just like have a motivational speech. Y'all are so important to me, and I love the work that you do here, and I really hope you stay here for a long time. It's like, okay, great, but then I don't do anything different? Lame. No. I'm a woman of faith. I love the Lord. I love God's grace and love and mercy that he has on me. And if I want to be a woman of faith and a faith-based leader, I got to show up the same way. So it was defying against all odds. Everything I know about business, I'm looking at a P&L, and I have stressed about that P&L pretty bad over the last 7 or 8 months. And I said, this P&L is causing me to lose sleep. It creates anxiety inside of me that I have to cope with medication so that I can be pleasant during the day. And I realized, why am I stressing out about numbers that don't mean anything if I have faith in something far greater than anything of this world? And so I challenged myself, probably a little bit of conviction from the Holy Spirit too. Just, why are you putting so much hope into your P&L? Put your hope and faith in the Lord and watch what he can do. And that's what I did. And I thought, what do I do to ensure that we have retention of our team? Well, the thing is, I have to be hyper-focused on ensuring that we have the best model, that we have the best people, and that we have the best clients. Because if we have all of that, then we win. And so my focus shifted first to our team, to our people, and immediately realized, one, I need to make them comfortable for cost of living. I need to make them comfortable for their value and what they bring here, and make sure that their comp plan is aligned with that. Secondly, we had to look at the kind of customer that we were serving. So during my time away, I was still in a business development role, and I take ownership of the fact that I wasn't as diligent on staying true to our ICP. We got a little creative on different companies that we brought on board to serve, and not everybody was an ICP fit. Well, guess what happens? Like, why do you think an ICP exercise is important? It's literally one of the capstone pieces that we do at our work with our clients, and I just ignored it for our own company, and we paid the price. And so I just realized we have got to niche down and get super focused on bringing on the right kind of customer and setting correct expectations out of the gate. So that worked really well. But then came the third component, is the quality of work. And I know in my heart of hearts that the team that works here does the best to their ability. Nobody is half-assing anything here. Nobody shows up and says, I'm going to do the minimum. That's not how House of Revenue is. This team is so fiery and passionate, and they're so smart, and they love our clients. Like, that is our core value. Number one is to serve first, and they honor that core value, and boy, do they show up. Okay, then it is my responsibility as a CEO, just as it is your responsibility as a CEO, as a leader. If you want a different result out of your people, then pony up and figure out how to get a different result. Don't just bark at them and demand that they do something different. You have to do something different to create that. So already on a stressed P&L, I knew that the next step was to write a really big check for learning and development. Because if I want my people to show my people, I did it again. If I would like our lovely team to produce different work, then they need to build up their knowledge set so that they can actually do something different. If I want strategic thinkers, then I need to train them to think strategically. And thankfully, there are so many resources out in the market for revenue leaders. We did a lot of research. My CMO, Sabrina, and I were scouring the internet for all different options of programs and classes and courses and certifications and what can we open up for our people so that they can level up. And we found a couple of really great options. Actually, I found a CRO in our community who runs a CRO training group, and he's got some really great content. His name is Warren. And I thought, hey, let me reach out to him and see what he has that our CROs can learn and level up. And he introduced me to his friend, Ray Reich, who's a specialist when it comes to revenue economics and data and numbers. And so we hired Ray as a trainer to level us up for our knowledge on revenue economics and learning all about a SaaS economics model, a subscription model for how to grow that type of business and to understand all the key metrics from a revenue standpoint. Ray was great. Boom. Team leveled up. Good investment. Next thing, what do we do for everybody else? So we did a lot of research, and there are so many good programs out there, but we settled on Pavilion. Pavilion used to be Revenue Collective. I've always been a fan from the sidelines, and in a way had a little like envy of, oh, I wish I could have created a cool program like that. I know we have a lot to offer, but that's not the core of our business. So I just decided, we got to dig into this. And so we did. And thankfully, through my relationship with HubSpot as a Diamond partner, I actually got a membership through Pavilion. And I started poking around. I'm like, this is actually pretty amazing as an executive revenue leader. And I thought, wait a second, I think our team can actually benefit from this. So we signed on as a corporate membership, and it's one of the best decisions that I've made. And I'm telling you that, and we haven't even started a course yet, but the amount of resources and the community that comes with the membership is unbelievable. I'm connected at a whole new level. We have resources at our fingertips, and I'm really thrilled that just within a couple of weeks, everyone, our marketers and CROs get to level up. And there are specific courses and trainings and cohorts and groups for all different facets of go-to-market and revenue leadership and marketing, CMO. It is unbelievable. One, the investment that we've made, it's not just from the P&L. It's not just writing a $12,000 check. It's also taking time out of the day. We sell one thing here, and that's people. And when we look at what are you willing to sacrifice as a CEO in order to get a different result? Money and time. I'm pulling this amazing team out of client work for 3 hours a week. Like there's only 40 hours really, billable hours, and that's high. Most companies that do billable hours usually cap it at 30 to 32, maybe 35 hours a week. So there's time to do administrative work and internal meetings, but our team runs hard. So they're probably doing, and we don't bill by the hour. So this is a weird example, but you know what I'm saying? They're probably client facing 40 hours a week, if not more. So with that, to pull them out of the field for those 3 hours, like that's just for them to attend classes and to be a part of their cohort meeting, but they are going to have homework. They're going to have additional research. So it's more than that. The team's making an investment. We're making an investment. Our clients are allowing us to make this investment. I got to send an awesome email to our clients with an update of, hey, here's what House of Revenue is doing to ensure we're bringing forth the best, absolute, perfect, whatever, as great as it can possibly be. Perfect is a big goal, but as great as it can possibly be for you service. And not one client flinched. Every single one of them, thumbs up, we're on board. Thank you for investing in your team because we're the ones that are going to benefit from that. And so here we are. And this is a story I'm telling you out of encouragement. Working in revenue is hard. Revenue is, okay, finance is probably hard. Operations I know is hard. Product is hard. All those other roles are hard. But what's difficult about being a revenue leader is your butt is always on the line. Always on the line. Always on the line. You and your team, revenue is king. If you're not producing, you're out. You're only ever as good as your last month. You're only ever as good as your last quarter. You could have been the most transformational revenue leader and done things for the company no one ever did. But as soon as that's not the case anymore and it begins to plateau, eyes are on you and everything is wrong and you're out. And that is a really difficult seat to sit in. And we do it. We do it gleefully. Like we do it passionately because we were built for this and we were built to be in revenue. And it's a hard job. And so I look at this and I'm sharing this story with you because I want it to be inspirational for the leaders and the executives that listen to this or watch this podcast to say, If you want a different result from your team, then you have to be willing to go the extra mile to make it happen. You can't not change anything in the environment and expect a different result. You have to show up, even at the expense of your profits. Like, that's the first thing. I was so profit focused over the last season, mostly because I wasn't in control of the business. And so I felt like the one thing I could do is sit there and stare at a P&L all day. That's healthy. Not good. I don't recommend it. Oy, oy, oy. That was tough. But I realized I had it wrong, and I had to shift the order. I got to put the team first, even if it means draining the bank account to zero, which it's getting pretty low. But I'm doing it with a smile on my face, and I'm already seeing a return. I'm already seeing a shift in attitude, demeanor. I'm seeing a shift in passion, dedication to this company. I'm seeing a way that the team is smiling again and happy and interactive and excited to be here and showing up for the work. So I encourage you, if you're looking for a different result from your team, or if you're struggling with retaining talent, like, ask yourself, when is the last time you actually did something for them at a sacrifice? Like, when is the last time you took comfort away from yourself to do something for them? Because I think that that's where big things happen. I think that that's where people see, whoa, she really is for us, or he really is for us. So what are you doing inside of your company to make it known and to sacrifice so that you can get a different result? Hopefully that was motivating for you. And if not, it might be time to look in the mirror, because if you're not clear on who you're for and what you're doing in business, you might be a little selfish. And I know that I had to have that same conversation with myself. And I think that it's important, like founder to founder right now, or CEO to CEO, whoever's listening to this, to hear it from me that there's always time to make money. There's always time to make money. But when you lose people that are the heart and core of your business, that stress, strain, and pressure comes back on you, because the buck stops with you. And we experienced some turnover this year, and it was hard and it hurt. And I don't wish that on anyone, and I don't want to go through it again. And so if you're anywhere in the same boat, I would ask you to gut check yourself and look in the mirror and figure out, are you part of the problem? CEOs can have ego and arrogance. And my recommendation is that you do that gut check and you figure out where your priority is. And if it's not your people, you should probably make a change.